A wise person learns from his own mistakes. Yes, my dear students, I have used this quote in the beginning of this lesson, and the reason behind it is our national leaders were wise enough to learn from the mistakes made by the British. That is, the British government framed rules and regulations for the Indians which were against the goodwill of the Indians. For example, they imposed so many policies like subsidiary alliance, doctrine of Lebs, the doctrine of paramountcy, and so on. These policies were opposed by the Indians, and the reason behind it was the main motive of the British government. That is, by forcing all these policies on the Indians, they wanted to bring more and more princely states under their control. Here, we can clearly say that the governing body was not from India. The rules were not properly balanced, or they were not framed for the goodwill of a common man. Therefore, these rules were opposed by the Indians, and the final result we have seen in the revolt of 1857. Having learned from such type of terrible situations, our wise Indian national leaders decided to include common people in the decision-making process. And to achieve this dream, our Indian national leaders finally framed the Indian Constitution, and the parliamentary form of government is one of the key features of our Constitution. The Parliament is the representative of the people. The Parliament in India consists of the President, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. Elections to the Parliament are held in a similar manner as they are held for the state legislature. For example, in Goa, for the state legislature elections, the entire state of Goa is divided into 40 constituencies. So also for the Lok Sabha elections, the entire country is divided into 543 constituencies. These Lok Sabha elections are held once every 5 years. Each of these constituencies elects one person to the parliament. That is, in a one single constituency, there may be different parties who are having different candidates. But finally, only one candidate is elected. That is, he gets majority of votes. And this elected member is called the MP, the Member of Parliament. After declaring the results of the Lok Sabha elections, a list is prepared showing how many MPs belong to each political party. For a political party to form the government, they must have a majority of elected MPs. As I have said earlier, for the Lok Sabha elections, the entire country is divided into 543 constituencies and plus there are 2 members nominated by the President. Therefore, in the Lok Sabha, we have 545 MPs. Now students, there is a question for you. In order to form a government, a party should have how many MPs in the Lok Sabha elections? Yes, you guessed it right. To have a majority or to form a government, a party should have at least half the members, that is 272 members or more. Sometimes it really becomes difficult for a single political party to get the majority, and in this type of situation, they join hands with the another party who is interested in forming a coalition government. The Prime Minister of India is the leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha. The Prime Minister takes MPs who belonged to her or his party as ministers to work with him or her to implement decisions. These ministers then take charge of different areas of government functioning like health, education, finance, etc. The opposition in parliament is formed by all the political parties that oppose the majority party or coalition formed. The largest amongst these parties is called the opposition party. Let us consider that in the Lok Sabha election, the party which has won the majority of MPs is Bharatiya Janata Party. The party who had the second highest numbers of MPs in the Lok Sabha election was the Indian National Congress, followed by the other parties. Students, can you guess now which party is free to form the government? Yes, you are right. Bharatiya Janata Party is free or has the power to form the government of India. And since the Indian National Congress Party was the second highest in the majority, this party is called the opposition party. This was all about the Lok Sabha elections and how the government of India is formed. Now let us move on to the another house of the parliament, that is the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha has 245 members. Out of this, 233 members are representatives of the states and 12 members are nominated by the President. Definitely, these 12 members which are nominated by the President will be the well-known contributors in the particular field. The Rajya Sabha is also called a permanent house of the Indian Parliament because it is subject to no dissolution. 1/3 of the members, that is nearly 81 members, retire every second year and are replaced by newly elected members. The members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. What is the main function of this Rajya Sabha? Yes, a bill is required to pass through the Rajya Sabha in order to become a law. It therefore has an important role of reviewing and altering the laws initiated by the Lok Sabha. Students, so far we have seen how the people take part in decision making and framing of rules and regulations. Students, could you please tell me how they do so? Yes, they do this by electing their representatives, and these elected representatives acts on the behalf of the people who have elected them. Now let us move on to the second important role of the parliament, and that is it control, guide and inform the government. Students, in the Indian Parliament, the opposition parties play a critical role in the healthy functioning of a democracy. That is, the Parliament, while in session, begins with a question hour. The question hour is an important mechanism through which MPs can draw information about the working of the government. That is, the government formed by the majority cannot act as and when or how they want, because the opposition party is there to question them, and the government formed by the majority is answerable to them. That means it's like a constant check on their action. Thus, the Parliament of India control, guide and inform the government. Students, in our today's class, we have seen why do we need a parliament.